Hi there. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to drive a model train using an inertia throttle. The first thing you'll notice when compared to a traditional DC controller is that there's a separate control for the throttle and the brake. It's completely analog and uses some clever circuitry to simulate the inertia of a moving train. 16 volts AC goes into the throttle and it outputs between 0 and 12 volts DC back to the track, just like with normal DC control. So nothing else on your layout has to be modified. Driving with one of these is quite fun. It makes driving a bit more challenging, as well as making a train behave in a more realistic manner. This particular controller is made in Queensland by CDA Electronics. Now it's worth pointing out that I've modified my controller so that you can't actually put the brake on 100%. Straight out of the box, if you put it to 100% there, it just cuts the voltage out completely. Your train will stop immediately. I don't like that. I like to live on the wild side a little bit, so I've made it so that you've still got a little bit of movement after you put the brake to emergency position. Alright, we're ready to go. So reverser in position, brake off, and then what we're going to do is just open the throttle to about halfway. And as you see, we slowly get power, our train starts to move. Now I can shut the throttle off, and the controller simulates inertia and our train keeps rolling. So just open that up again. Once we're through the junction here, I'll open it up a bit more. Now if I were to leave the throttle open and slam the brake on, it will override the throttle setting. Well, it's not quite as effective as if you do close the throttle. So if we want to make a smooth stop, close the throttle, set the brake halfway in this case, our train slows down. One thing you will find with these controllers is after a while the resistor in the brake control can wear out and becomes a bit less effective. So a brand new controller would have stopped a bit faster than that, but it's just about getting used to it. Coming up past the main yard here. And if I close the throttle and I don't use the brake, I just let it roll there, the train will eventually come to a complete stop. So as we come onto the straight here, I'll accelerate up a little and show you an emergency brake. So as you can see, stop pretty quickly but not instantly. So we're not going to pull our coupling bars out. Overall, this just provides a much more pleasant driving experience to a traditional DC controller. It's a much cheaper alternative to going with something like DCC. Obviously that has other advantages, but personally I'm quite happy using a traditional DC system. I've got my layout wired up with two separate circuits, so I can have two of these controllers plugged in and be driving different trains on opposing tracks. Now I'm told a lot of people don't like shunting with these controllers because it's a bit fiddly, easy to get distracted maybe, but I actually think it's perfect for that. So we're going to roll in here and pick up a few goods wagons. You do generally have to come in quite delicately if you don't want to misjudge your braking at the last minute and have a bit of a collision. can take a little bit of practice to get used to driving with one of these, but after a little while it sort of becomes second nature. You can do it with one hand behind your back. I do find I have two of these controllers and the braking rate between the two does vary. It's our 830 class and RY wagon we're using to propel the camera around. So there you go. That's driving a DC model train with an inertia throttle.